Hello, and welcome to my first of the lectures that we want to do for our flip lecture. So first, we're going to go just review some stuff that you already know, which is using scanner. Now, scanner is an object. Now, as we mentioned, objects are just these collections of both data and methods. So we have this idea that basically that if we can create new methods like this, public static void print line, right? We could write this and out print line. So we have this method here, and we can think of a method as a verb that we've added to our language, and we can think of objects now as kind of the nouns. Now, we've learned how to write these verbs, so to speak, these methods. And later in the semester, we will learn how to write the nouns, our own objects. But for right now, we're just going to use the ones built into Java. So scanner, I'll call mine keyboard, is equal to a new scanner system.in. And we can kind of get a better intuitive understanding now of what's going on with this line. Okay, some of the stuff is still foreign to us, but we know that this is a type, right? Just like how I would say int x is equal to 5 or string s is equal to hello, right? Just like I've got where 5 stores x and s stores hello. Although, got to mention here, yeah, I lied right there. S does not store hello. Or hello exclamation point if you want to get right down to it. We'll get into what that does, but it stores where to find hello. And we'll talk about the consequences of that when we go into strings in a bit more detail. But we can think of it, just for right now, for our understanding, that S is holding hello. But we've got we've got this variable type and the variable name, the type and the name. So the type and what we're going to call it. So scanner, and we're going to call our this scanner keyboard. Now this equals over here, we've got this new keyword, which is apparently a keyword because Eclipse highlighted it for us, and scanner, which, as you can see, those match. So it's saying that the scanner keyboard is equal to a new scanner, and it's got its own parentheses, so it's kind of like a method. We'll learn that this is something called a constructor, and it's like a special method that tells Java how to build a scanner. And this constructor accepts a parameter, which is just simply where are we going to read from? What are we going to scan? Well, we're going to scan system.in. That's a lot to take in, and not necessarily everything. You're not necessarily going to understand everything in that. That's fine. Right now, we're going to learn about what we can do with scanner and how to build them. Now, of course, whenever we decide we want to use a scanner, we've got to import it. No problems there. So, and now we can use this to make our program interactive, like this. So let's first ask the user for their name. System.print line. Please enter your name. And then we can store that result. String s is equal to keyboard dot to access all the methods inside of it, just like we can use .charAdd in string or .length in string to get the size of it. We can use the dot over here to get a bunch of methods. So string s is equal to keyboard.nextLine. This reads a full line of text from the user. Now, what's the problem over here? Duplicate variable. Got an s over here and an s over here. Can't name it the same, so I'll just give it a better name. Name. System.out.println your name is space plus name. So now we can run it, and it runs Oh, did I hit it? Nope, did not actually hit it. It's going to run. It says, please enter your name. And now it's just going to stop. It's, it goes line by line. It says stores X and 5 and X. It stores the location of hello and S. And then it creates a new scanner, stores the location of that in keyboard. Locations? What am I talking about? We'll get to that. Don't worry. System.out.println. Please enter your next name. Please enter your name. And then it stops over here. Keyboard.nextLine. It's waiting for me to input from the keyboard what a line of text. So, and that waits until I hit the enter key. Please enter a name. Let's see. So if I enter in Andrew Rosen, we'll say your name is Andrew Rosen. Now let's differentiate that between next and next line. And let's see what happens when I do keyboard.next instead. Andrew Rosen. Your name is Andrew. What just happened there? I put in Andrew Rosen. Well, I was entering stuff. I hit the return key to tell Java that I was done. So why didn't it go? Now, why isn't it fully giving me completes? I don't know. Keyboard.next. Well, keyboard.next is going to read until the next white space. It's going to read until it hits something that's a space or a line. So a lot of times it's a lot easier. So here's a tab to just use next line because often you want to grab the entire line as opposed to just one segment of it. So suppose I do that. Keyboard.name, string name, keyboard.next, system.out.println. So now watch what happens if I run this again. Andrew space Rosen. Your name is Andrew. Your name is Rosen. It didn't even stop that second time. It just read. It gave out Rosen. So what did it do? Well, it read up to here, and then it got to the space, so it stopped. So it read up. So that's what next does. It reads up to the white space. Okay. Then it read Rosen, and then read up to the new line character, and it stopped. So it basically read. What was left over. So typically we don't want stuff to be left over, so we'll just use next line. Let's see what happens if I do next line here and next line here. So that's what next line does. All right, what other methods? So here we're just storing strings, but what else can we do? Well, we can read a couple of other things. So we can do system.out.println enter a number. And I'm going to actually bring back what I just deleted. Hooray, undo keys. So here, we can do string dot. So here, I can do int x is equal to keyboard dot next int. So I can read in an integer. System.out.println your number is. Let's see how this works now. Give a space there, run. Oh, got an error somewhere. Oh, right, already used an int x, so I'll go ahead and just reuse the variable. Andrew, enter a number. Now, right, it does say to enter a number, so I can't just type Rosen, because Rosen's not a number. Right, so it gives me an error if I try to give it the wrong thing. So Andrew, 6. Oh, didn't print out. Well, of course it didn't, because I didn't actually print it out. So let's go ahead and add that. Andrew? 6. Okay, and that's pretty cool. But one thing to beware of is doing this in reverse. In fact, this is such a problem that we often suggest that you never mix your next integers with next lines. So if we run this, please enter a number. I'm going to put in 56 and put in space. Please enter your name. And it says it stopped. Let's go ahead and system.out.println your name is, because we somehow accidentally got rid of that. That's name. Please enter a number. No, 56. Your number is 56. Please enter your name. Your name is blank. And it stopped. It's not even giving me a chance to type in my name. Right? You hear me typing, not doing anything. Okay. So, what's going on there? Well, it's very similar to next. Next line reads all the line. Next int reads the next integer it can find. So it read 56. And then there was the enter key that we put in there, right? We hit the enter key. So it had its new line character left over. So it read it. And read up to the new line, and then it stopped. And then when we did next line, it said, hey, you still have something in there. So I'm going to read that. Oh, there's nothing there. So now, how can I do that? Well, if I still have stuff left over like that, I can do readline followed by a readline, which is rather silly. Your name is help. Right? So again, what happened there? Well, when I entered in 56, this is what I typed in. And then I read this bit, and didn't read this bit. Let's go ahead and see what happens. Let's go ahead and see what happens, though, if I do this. Enter in a number, 56, Andrew. Your number is 56. Okay, so now, let's remove the second get line. Boom, run. Okay. 56, Andrew. Your number is 56. Please enter your name. I didn't type anything in after that, but it said your name is Andrew. What happened? Well, it read up to 56 until it stopped reading. And then there was a space left over, so it knew to stop reading 56. But then went on to, and then Andrew was left over in here, in this buffer, in this input stream. And so when we moved on, it said, please enter your name. Well, it read what was already in there. So as a result, I highly suggest that we only ever really use, next line, or if the program just works with numbers and we never use any strings, just use next ints or next doubles. So don't mix and match these two unless you're being very careful about it. Okay, so now the other thing, so now that I've completely and totally confused you, right? So let me just write down the rule. Nine. Only use next line. Convert. We'll learn how to convert inputs to. Okay. But let's assume we don't follow my advice right now. We can do this, and now we can create something like a method over here that says public static void print name int, string name int n, and this will print the name, and we can write a loop that will print the name n times. For int I is equal to 0, okay, I'm starting from 0 now. I is less than n, I plus plus. This will run the same amount of times, by the way, as if I had written this instead. Right? Think about it for a second. Pause the video if you have to. Write out the numbers that this will this will run over if I input 5 for n. Well, what will that be? It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if I do this, the numbers that I will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So even the range is slightly different, but the loop will still run the same number of times. So now we can use this, we can make kind of an interactive program here. Use the user inputs, what the user gives to us, as as basically inputs as our parameters for our methods. So print out name x, and this copies those values into here. Please enter your name, Andrew. 5. And so now Andrew prints 5 times. All right, so this hopefully should show you plenty of how to use a scanner.